Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Motivational Monday on Justin the Food Entrepreneurs podcast. And all of you listening in, especially in the United States, if you don't know, this upcoming Sunday is Mother's Day. So this episode is going to be dedicated to Mother's Day, although I probably lost half the audience because they forgot this upcoming weekend's Mother's Days and they're dropping off and probably buying presents. But I'm Justin Bizzarro. I'm the host of this show. And I normally don't talk much about myself. I try to be motivational on these Mondays and my experience, and I try to leave it about motivating people or the people's experiences that are on this podcast. But this episode and the one that'll come out on Memorial Day are going to be more personal to me. So I hope you guys listen in, but I dedicate this episode to my mom, Suzette Bizzarro. I love you. Thank you for everything. And to Deborah Michas, the most beautiful mother of my two stepdaughters, or daughters. I guess I should stop calling them stepdaughters because they are daughters to me. And so I need to do a better job at that. But the thing is that I love them, and I love Deborah, and I love my mom. So here's an episode dedicated to all the moms out there, and I'm going to tell it from my own personal experience. And we're going to use a quote by Stevie Wonder to get this thing kicked off. So that quote is this: "Mama was my greatest teacher, a teacher of compassion, love, and fearlessness. If love is sweet as a flower, then my mother is that sweet flower of love." And I'm going to repeat it again for all of you guys who are out there. This is what it is. Mama was my greatest teacher, a teacher of compassion, love, and fearlessness. If love is sweet as a flower, then my mother is that sweet flower of love. So, wow, right? I don't even know where to begin because I have seen and learned some beautiful things both from Deborah Michas in my life. Deborah Michas, you're an amazing mother of two beautiful girls, and you do everything that a mother should do. And so this is what I'm going to tell the audience, and this is what I want you guys to hear because it's about you guys, and I have this avenue to tell my mom, Suzette Bizzarro, and Deborah Michas, the most beautiful significant other anyone could have, about the way I feel about them and how special they are, as moms. So guess what? Here's my Hallmark card in my words on the podcast, Justin the Food Entrepreneurs, because guess what? I run the show. I get to dictate what's on it. So I'm going to do this for you guys because you told me to stand up. Both of you have taught me to be fearless. Both of you have taught me what it really means to have love and compassion in my life. And I owe you guys my world. So Deborah Michas, and Zoe and Maddie, I hope you guys hear this. Sorry to put you guys out on the podcast, but I think it's important that you always know that your mother is one of the most amazing giving people. And everything she does, she takes you into consideration. You are her world. And as a mom, she cares more about you guys than anything. And it is one of the most beautiful things that I have ever seen as a man. And it's not something we as men could ever understand, the womanly instinct that takes place, the mama bear, the protective attitude, the attitude where women have to just be a part of their children's life. It's no wonder there's a day after women and mothers, because it is just such an amazing thing to watch. And I've only, witnessed it through Deborah. I don't have any kids of my own, but I got to watch these two beautiful girls over the last many years. God, it's been a long time, but it's just beautiful the way she cares about them and she loves them and just totally betrays the way a mom should be, and sacrifices and making sure she goes see them and there for every sporting event and there to support them and make sure she's there with every figurative Band-Aid for every scraped knee and there to kiss the wounds and there for when they need support or they need love, and just to always make sure that they're there for them. She's there for them. It's, and that's what all moms do, but I've got to witness it through Deborah Michas, through these two girls that I love to death, my daughters, and they're quite amazing individuals, and they've become amazing individuals because their mom is one of the greatest people I have ever met. Obviously, why I'm with her, side note, asterisk, but I've never met anyone who's cared and sacrificed themselves as much as Deborah Michas does. Everything she does is with the goal of leaving behind something better for her children and for the world around her, so her children and their children have a better place. And it's an amazing thing. And it's not only about money. Don't get me wrong. It's not she's trying to leave back money, although she loves making sure they have financial security in their life. The thing that she does the most is making sure she's improving the world every day, creating environments for improvement so her children, when they have families, can raise families in a great environment around us. And that's amazing. It's like something I once heard, and Deborah's brother says this: if there were no women in this world, we wouldn't have any buildings. We wouldn't have anything. We'd just be a bunch of men, around drinking beer, living in our cardboard boxes, fishing all day. And while I don't like fishing, the reality is women, you inspire us, you motivate us. So you motivate us with your love and your compassion and your generosity and your giving and your selflessness. It is a true model of what a mother does and teaches their sons and teaches their daughters about what it is. And so, as a segue, this upcoming week on May 8th is also my mom's birthday and also Mother's Day, so I've got a double whammy of gratitude. And, my mom taught me work ethic. Growing up on a horse farm, that's what my mom did for a living. She taught me work ethic. She taught me perseverance. When I needed to be better at soccer and I wanted to start, she taught me about doing something and forming habits and getting out there every day with a soccer ball, juggling it, kicking it off the wall, using my left foot, practicing my left foot, crossing. Everything I could do, hours upon hours a day, she instilled in me in hard work to make me the person I am and to make me a soccer player, and I still carry that into my entrepreneurial life. She taught me about being an entrepreneur before my dad was an entrepreneur. She taught me about how habits and forming habits and practice make you better. And that's what happens. That's what we are as entrepreneurs. I owe my mom that. She taught me to be fearless, and she taught me to be strong, and she taught me never to give up no matter what. And people can call it pig-headed and people can call it stubborn, but I will see things all the way through when I give my word, because that's the type of person that I am, because my mom taught that to me. And happy birthday, Mom. I love you. And I just, Tupac had his mama song. Justin Bizzarro gets his podcast to his mama. And, I get my podcast to my significant other, Deborah Michas, who's just absolutely amazing. And both of them as moms have taught me so much. What we can take away from it is that women in our life as mothers teach us love and compassion. And if we treated things a lot better, that's not saying don't be a man or there shouldn't be masculinity, because that's obviously healthy and we have competition as males and things like that. But what women do is they make the world a softer, safer place. And they teach us so much if we look at it. And we just need to take the time to listen to our mothers. So all of you that are out there on this Motivational Monday, this is not going to be a long one, but go out, thank the women in your life for being moms to your children. Thank the women in your life that are your mothers who have sacrificed so much. Because you know what? I'll tell you, we aren't easy, particularly as men. I wasn't an easy kid. I was difficult. I was running around on a farm. I was always in trouble, as boys do. Getting in trouble at school, getting in trouble at home. I was a wild kid, and as you guys can probably guess, I didn't color inside the lines much. I wasn't that kid that just did what everyone wanted. I was a good kid, but I had my moments. I had my man moments. I built forts and trees and got the tractor stuck in mud pits where we had to call in a tow truck, and I would run the tractor out of diesel fuel stupidly. One time, I only did it once, I never did it again, thank God. I learned my lesson. But we do stupid shit, and our mothers are there always to help us. They're always there with a soft place to love us and to carry us and to pick us back up and to motivate us. And I watched Deborah do that with her own daughters. I watch her just empower them and demonstrate them and lead by example and motivate them through her actions and the way she lives her life. She's one of the hardest workers, just like my mom on the farm. That's why, they're in common. Probably why I chose Deborah, because I saw the same attributes of hard work and dedication and love and fearlessness and dedication to her children. And I love that about her, Deborah, and I love that my mom taught me, and I love that my mom gave me an example of that type of woman so I could have Deborah in my life. It's so important because without that example, I talk a lot on other Motivational Mondays about the example of being a man, but my mother was the example of being a woman who worked hard, who was still a mom every day, who was there to kiss my Band-Aids, take me to the doctor, take me to school, whatever she needed to do to hold shit together, work as a full-time entrepreneur, running a horse farm, giving lessons, showing horses, breeding horses, whatever she needed to do, she was doing that. And I'm not saying my father wasn't there, because obviously he was, but what I am saying is my mom was that soft place when I needed it. My mom gave me the softness. She taught me to love animals and taught me to love the people around me and taught me that I don't need to always care about what everyone thinks about me. It's what matters that I think about myself. Every entrepreneurial thing, I learned all the business side from my dad. I learned all the people side from my mom. I learned what it was. And my dad, not like he's not a people person and not that he doesn't lead and motivate people and he's really dedicated person, but my mom taught me the soft side of humanity and what love really means. And I watched Deborah do that with her daughters. I watched Deborah teach her daughters how it's okay to have feelings and it's okay to have things. And it's hard when you're teenagers. Believe me, I was one. I was afraid of my feelings. I was afraid to be in touch with who I am. I was afraid what other people thought of me. I was afraid to open up and tell people about who I really am. It took me a long time to do that, and my mom helped me. But I watched Deborah just do it all the time, not only with me, but with her children, and it's a beautiful thing. So men, again, thank the women in your life who are mothers. And women out there who are mothers, thank you. All of you make this world a better place. All of you are doing a great job. You're raising great kids, and we have a chance. I want to tell all of you, greatest generation of all time. I'm telling you, we as a generation can help make the generation after us even better. And the mothers are at the forefront of that. So thank you all for being moms, and thank you all for mothers for having the bravery to have children and raise a family and having the bravery to put up with us as men, because we are not easy as men. We don't get it all the time, and we can be stubborn and we can be too dedicated to our jobs, and we can mess up and not be there enough for our families, but we have women in our life that keeps it all together. The mothers keep the family together. They make sure everything is okay and cohesive, and they make peace. One of the things, the greatest stories I just recently heard is, how a group of brothers, and they were growing up, and the brothers would always fight, but the mother would not let anything move forward until she made sure the brothers figured out a way to have resolve with one another, and then the family could move forward. And that's an important lesson, that there has to be resolve, and we all have to get along, and we're all a family. And I love that because Deborah does that too. We're all a family. We move as a family unit. We're together as a family, and she does an amazing job of that, and I love her for it. And my mom did the same thing, make sure we were a family, and we went on trips, and we were organized, and everything was the way it needed to be, and we organized around the farm so we could get everything done we needed to get done, so we make sure we could spend time as a family. And it instilled in me this. The most important thing as I close off this podcast, and Deborah, Michas, you do the same thing, and I love you for this, is making sure we all work together as a team and get everything done so we always have that time together to spend together. And it's so important because you got to live every day like it's your last, and you never can take back the time of yesterday. So having the time today to spend with one another, to make memories, to do those things. My mom did that and created that. And Deborah, Michas, you do that and you create that with me, and you create that with your children, and you create that for us as a family. And I love you to death for it. And Mom, I love you to death for the great childhood I had and keeping our family together and always doing everything you could to be there for me and help me pursue my dreams in soccer and in education and in business, and always being a soft place for me. With that being said, everyone, don't forget, happy Mother's Day. Lastly, if you like what we're doing on the podcast, please just share the love. Obviously I love doing this because I love learning from everyone, so there is something in it for me, and that is the learning from everyone that's on the podcast and the chance to getting my voice out there. So there is stuff in it for me, but we do the podcast for free. We don't take any advertisements, Deborah and I. We do this truly to volunteer our time and give back. And again, why Deborah's such a great mother, and I'm about to end the episode, so I don't want to go back because sometimes I just need to end it, I'm told. But Deborah just gives back, and that's part of why this podcast exists, because she saw that I just wanted to give, and she encouraged me to do this podcast and give back, and saw that I was passionate about people and entrepreneurs and the next generation and passing on the love and creating a group of entrepreneurs in this world through mentorship and through the podcast and giving back. And she has supported me 100%, and I love her for it. So anyway, share what we're doing on here. If you want to be on the podcast and you're a food or beverage or nutrition entrepreneur, you can reach me at justin@thefoodentrepreneurs.com. And one more thing as I wrap up. A couple episodes ago, I messed up the Serenity Prayer. I left it up because I want everyone to see that we all make mistakes. I make a lot of them, sometimes big ones. Thanks, Mom, for always understanding. And Deborah, thanks for always understanding when I'm a knucklehead. And so the Serenity Prayer is actually, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And so, while that's a prayer and it's a prayer for God, it is also something that my mom taught me in everyday life. I can't control everything, and the things I can control, I need to do my best at and dedicate myself to and give 100%, if not 110%. And everything else, I need to have the wisdom and the understanding to know the difference. And Mom and Deborah, thank you guys for being there for me when I need to talk to someone and I don't understand the difference. You're my wisdom. I love you guys. Everyone have a great Motivational Monday. Give your moms a hug, give her a kiss, send her flowers. Tell your wives that they're amazing and that they raise your children in amazing ways. Go love them. I appreciate you guys for listening in, and I love you guys, and my gratitude for my mom and for Deborah is obviously there, but I have gratitude for all of you guys for listening in. And adios, everyone. Have a great Monday. Bye.